Tonight, our opening song is one that we've done before. You can find it on page 339. I chose it quite deliberately because I think that we are in a really interesting time in our society right now of re-emerging into the world. This is the first time that some of you have been in this building ever. Years, months, or just a week. But regardless, there's a sense that we are walking on a new path. And so our opening song tonight, second on page 339, Gesher Tsar Me'od, is a teaching from Reb Nachman, who actually is buried in the Ukraine. He's from the Ukraine, isn't he? Yeah, that's where he taught, the great Hasidic master, Reb Nachman.
Uman.
Huh?
Uman.
Yeah, Uman. And,
Good luck finding that on a map.
huh?
Good luck finding that on a map.
It's not on a map?
I have no idea.
Well,
Just wishing everybody luck finding him and then go look later.
Okay. Well, people go on pilgrimage there
that's true.
during his birthday. But, or death day. Anyway.
His your site, yeah.
His yard site. So he taught these words. The whole world is a very narrow bridge. And the ikar, the most important thing, is not to be afraid. And I love this. But actually, I think it's impossible. I think it's impossible to not be afraid. It's impossible sometimes to not be heartbroken. It's impossible sometimes to not feel sad. I think it's not that it's not to be afraid at all. I think it's to recognize that our fear doesn't stop us from walking on that bridge. And so we walk this bridge, this crazy bridge of life together. When I was growing up and going to camp and learned this song, there were hand motions. Yeah.
Are you going to teach us?
The whole world is a very narrow bridge. And then we went, woo! So if you want to join in, even if you don't know the words, you can do the hand motions.
Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet kla. Kol haolam kulo
Woo!
gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet, lo lefachet kla. V'haikar, v'haikar, lo lefachet kla.
We continue with our candle lighting on page 2. Carol, would you be comfortable leading us in our blessings? Huh? I know. We'll help you, don't worry.
At least we're not making you blow out the match with a mask on anymore.
Yes, that was always tricky. Two. Woo! That's okay. It has been a while, and we all need to remember, right?
At least they weren't lit yet.
That's true too.
That might have been worse.
All good.
Whew.
I caught Carol off guard and surprised her. So, you got it? All right.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Carol. Let's continue welcoming Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21. Lecha Dodi is actually a mystical love poem to God. And you can read the translation and you're going to say, how is this a love poem to God? But it is filled with mystical code words that talk about God connecting to us and us connecting to God. And it's just a beautiful affirmation and expression of what that relationship can be. So we join together, welcoming Shabbat.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Kabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Ishmi'anu el ha'miuchad Adonai echad Ushemo echad l'shemo tiferet Velitila lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha Ki mekor haberacha Merosh mikerem nesucha Sof maaseh b'machshavat techila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Hitorri Ki va'orech kumiori Uri Shir daberi Kevod Adonai Alaych nigla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Rise and face the entrance.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לחדרי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לחדרי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לחדרי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לחדרי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We have welcomed Shabbat. Now we turn to the people around us, friends and friends we have not yet met, with greetings of Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm so glad you feel better.
Me too.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone at
Shabbat
home.
Shalom, everybody at home.
Hey, Dad. Good Shabbos. Lev. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, of course, of course. Lev Vernon, you got to come back in. Shabbat Shalom, Michael. Thank you for doing our internet streaming. Oh, well, we are. Let's continue on page 26. And I hope my son, Lev Vernon, comes back to the sanctuary.
He's doing the very important job of making sure anybody who shows up late has a siddur.
Yeah, yeah. Page 26. Hatzi Kaddish.
Oh, whoops. Yikadav yitkadash shemei rabba, Yoma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayedecho be'Yisrael, bagala bagala, u'bizman karif, v'meru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, Le'olam lo mehamaya, Yiparach, Yiparach v'ishtabach, Yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh, V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha brichu, Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damihiran be'oma, V'meru amen.
We join together with all of creation in praising God, rising for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Yala la la la, yala la la la, la la la, yala la la, yala la la, yala la la. Yala la la la, yala la la la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yala la la la, yala la la la. Yala la la la, yala la la, yala la yala la la, yala la la, yala la la la. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach,
page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. The words to our next prayer are in our Shabbat handouts. We are loved.
We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we're too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
This past week, I was able to attend the CCAR convention. That's our rabbinic group online. Now they have a hybrid version, so you can attend. It was in San Diego, or you could attend online. And it was really beautiful to be part of the things that I could partake in. We had worship together, and I have to tell you, I can't think of anything more nerve-wracking than a rabbi standing up in front of hundreds of rabbis to lead services. But that's what they did. And the melody we're going to sing in a minute actually it was sung for our morning prayer on Monday, and I remembered how much I liked it, and so I wanted to share it with everyone. We used to do it. It's been a while. But there was another really special part to the convention this year. It is actually, this year is the 50th anniversary of, anybody know? Of the first female rabbi to be ordained. Yeah, Sally Prezand in 1972.
Really?
Well, it was May, but
it was May.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean,
Okay, not this moment. This year.
This year.
My bad.
This season. And they did an amazing program where we heard a lecture by Dr. Carol Balin, who was one of my professors in rabbinical school, who talked about the CCAR convention of 1922, when they actually discussed whether or not they should allow women to become rabbis. And do you know what they said? They said yes. In 1922, and they asked, it was all male rabbis, and they asked some of their wives to speak and share their thoughts. And it was the wives who said, it's time. But then the board of HUC said, no way, it's not happening. And it took another 40, 50 years for it to happen. And then, after that teaching, we were split online into different groups and in person in different groups. And we met with the Vatikot of the movement. These are the first women who became rabbis in the movement. They've been rabbis for 50 years or 49 years or 45 years. And I was able to interview Rabbi Sheila Russian, who was the first female rabbi in Baltimore. And she talked about her life. She talked about being in school. And I felt like I was in the presence of a living miracle. And after we had these breakout groups, Sally Prezand was interviewed by the president of the CCAR, who happens to be a woman, here a person, to share her memories. Now, I'm not just saying all of these things because it's like cool and I'm a woman rabbi and they're women, but because I think we so often think that the miracles that change everything happened eons ago. The miracle of the splitting of the sea changed everything. But the miracle of Sally Prezand becoming a rabbi, that was a splitting of a sea too. And I think that's so important for us to remember in a time when maybe we feel cynical or we despair about the world around us. There are still miracles that are unfolding. There are still seas that are splitting. And maybe we will be the ones who split them. But we walk in the footsteps of all of these people, of these Vatikot, of Sally Prezand, of our ancestors, in recognizing Mi Chamocha. How is this possible? Thank God it is. The words to Mi Chamocha are on page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. One more time. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh.
Thanks, Ari. We read together on the top of 43 and join in song for the last Hebrew line. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
The Shamru is on page 44. Shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'nafash, Shabbat v'nafash, Shabbat v'nafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat u'lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We continue with the Amidah, beginning on page 46, continuing on 48, 50, and 52. Please rise.
Adonai, Svatai tiftach, Svatai tiftach, Ufi agid, Tehilatecha, Hilatecha, Adonai. Open up my lips, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare, your praise, your praise. Adonai, Svatai. Fiagi Teilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah, Rab le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid Hashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'nemanat alachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukedoshim bechol yom yalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Let's read together on the bottom of page 54. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us our heritage, your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 59. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us? You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh leodot. We turn the page for Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki ata melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amacha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We pause for silent prayer.
Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri begoali Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri begoali Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri begoali Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri begoali Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Yiyu leratzon imrefi imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha.
We take a moment now to share the names of the many people in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. We share the names of Joan Adler, Lenore Adler, Sue Barish, James Berry, John Deakins, Emily Diamond, Ted Dressman, Bill Ellis, Ralph Gardner, Joyce Gardner, Steve Geis, Marnie Goldman, Rachel Helene, Cheryl Kamish, Marshall Kramer, Helene Kramer, Sally Levy, Gail Leventon, Faith Lewis, Rena Masarwi and family, Mary Meyerson, Leah Nicaron, Esther Nicaron, Florence Osterman, Tracy Patton, Rabbi Lori Phillips, Rabbi Marcia Prager, Mike Rawls, Joan Rich, Keith Salome, Stephanie Schuler, Margot Seckler, Shirley Seckler, Betty Sichel, Debbie Simon, Selma Silverberg, Reese Sullivan, Carmen Villarreal, Roz Grossman, Doug Pack, Jennifer Larson, and Josh Boswell. And to these names we add behold all these people in our hearts, along with all the people in the hearts of our online community. And we join together in the words of Elna Refanaleh in our handouts.
El Narefanale, El Narefanale, El Narefanalanu, El Narefanale. Source of life, source of all, heal our bodies, heal our souls, source of comfort, source of strength, may we be whole. El Narefanale, El Narefanale, El Narefanalanu, El Narefanale. Heal our loved ones. Heal our friends. Pour out your Spirit. Bring peace without end. El Narefanale. El Narefanale. El Narefanalanu. El Narefanale. El Narefanale. El Narefanale.
May God, who is the source of all our blessings, be a source of healing to all those in need. Together we say,
Amen.
I want you all to imagine for a moment that you're an ancient Israelite. This is thousands of years ago that you are living, long before indoor plumbing and antibiotics, long before the printing press, long before Pythagorean's theorem, long before the rabbis even existed, before we lived in the land of Israel. I'm talking really, really, really ancient Israelite. And there you are, walking through the desert with all the other ancient Israelites with you. And you wake up in the morning, you collect your manna, you share it with your friends and family maybe. Maybe you do a little bit of work for the building of the tabernacle, you know. And then one day, something happens. I lost a page. One day you look down and you see that you have a little rash on your arm, or maybe your leg, or maybe your torso. You know, and you don't think much of it. You think, dry air, desert. Psh, I'm just not used to it. But then it spreads, and it spreads, and it spreads, and you can't hide it anymore. And then you walk around the other Israelites, and they kind of step away from you, and maybe kind of whisper behind your back. And maybe you're tempted to say something like, it's not COVID, it's allergies. But that's not what happened in ancient Israel. In our day, we know about things like psoriasis and eczema and hives. But back then, any rash they feared would spread like wildfire through the encampment and could be something deadly like leprosy. So in ancient Israel, if this happened to you, you were brought before the priest who declared you impure and put you in quarantine for 7 days. I mean, we call it quarantine, but the Torah in this week's Torah portion, Tazria, says that they had to live outside of camp for 7 days. You couldn't touch anyone. If you had close friends and family, they might bring food out to where you were staying in the desert. If the Israelite group started to move, you had to follow at a distance. It was something that put your life at risk. The fear of the skin disease in our Torah portion was as strong as our fear of COVID, March 2020. That fear kept us locked in our homes. It kept us cleaning our groceries. It kept us trying to find toilet paper at every store we could. But there was a difference, well, more than one difference between the ancient Israelites and us. They knew what to do when their time in quarantine was over. I'm not sure we know what to do now that our time of quarantine is over. For the past 2 years, Interfaith Ministries of Greater Houston has conducted weekly or bi-weekly or monthly Zoom calls for clergy all over the city of Houston. We've had leaders from the city, elected officials, business leaders, and most importantly, medical professionals who have given us an hour of their time week after week to share information and advice with the city's clergy. Through their teachings, I became an armchair epidemiologist. I could quote RT rates, regurgitate statistics, and share the most up-to-date information about COVID with the COVID committee. And this past Thursday, just yesterday morning, we met again for our final clergy COVID meeting. I know, that's amazing. Dr. David Callender, who is the president and CEO of Memorial Hermann, said, COVID's not gone and it's not going away, but we think that things will continue as they are for the next few weeks and through the summer. Kenahora, God willing, he's right. And we can continue to emerge from COVID the way the bugs on the trees are starting to emerge from winter. But here's the thing. What we went through was not just a novel virus. It was a novel experience for all of us. When everything shut down in March of 2020, I thought we would be homebound for like 2 weeks, maybe. And then that stretched to months. And then I remember arguing with my dad about whether it was smart or not for Texas to reopen in May. I was terrified. And he said, economically, it's the right thing to do. But remember those days? Remember when we couldn't find matzah that Passover, and we had a matzah drive-through in the temple parking lot? There are so many strange, once-in-a-lifetime experiences that we had over the past 2 years. And those things are kind of continuing, although it continues to change. Sometimes it feels to me like we're play acting at normal now because so many challenges are still there. There are still the supply chain issues, lack of workers, flights that always seem to be delayed no matter what. Did that, yes? Yeah. It's so, the road rage and the violence and the way people seem to have shorter fuses no matter what. It's not normal, none of this, but we keep pushing for normal. We rip off our masks with glee. I do too. Yeah, but then there are the millions of people who got sick, the millions who died, well, million in America. There are the people who have long COVID, the millions and millions of people who lost someone they loved. How do we emerge from these 2 years? How do we return to camp? A teacher of mine told me recently that after 2 years of being terrified of COVID, she finally came down with it. And because of vaccines and boosters, it felt, she said, like a minor flu. But she said it was such a mental disconnect. 2 years of being terrified of something that could kill you. And then you get it. And what next? Maybe our Torah portion has some advice for us. Now this week's portion, Tazria, talks about being kicked out of camp. Next week's portion, Mitzorah, talks about returning. It tells us the protocol when that skin disease that you all were infected with as you marched through the desert, God forbid, when it finally goes away. After 7 days in your quarantine, a priest would examine you. And if your rash was resolved, then you would wash all your clothes and you would shave all the hair from your body. Then the priest would bring sweet-smelling spices and 2 birds, and would sacrifice those birds, one as expiation and one over a bowl of water. Now, I know this sounds gross, but the priest would then take that bloody water and sprinkle it 7 times on the person who is healed. It's gross, right? The bloody water sprinkled 7, 7. It's gross. But actually, I think I'm gonna push y'all here. I actually think it's quite beautiful and meaningful. The person who is healed shaves everything and has skin now like a newborn baby. And then the priest sprinkles this water that has blood and a little bit of oil, and you look like a newborn baby. This is actually the theory. Hava, you're going like this, but that was actually the theory behind much of the bloody rituals in the book of Leviticus. It was so that people would feel like they were re-emerging into a new start, a new beginning, a new life. And for somebody who spent 7 days in the desert, it must feel like that. And I think that maybe we feel like that too. We made it. We are through. We do not need to shake bloody water on each other, though. I do think, though, that we need a ritual to help us emerge from the past 2 years. How can we affirm that we're starting again? How can we say what was, and we move forward with something different? The past 2 years have been traumatizing, I think. And I don't think we should try to undo or forget all of that trauma and all of those changes. But there's also growth that has happened. There have been surges of creativity. Some people have a deeper connection to spirituality. Some of us feel like we have a new sense of personal strength and a better sense of what we want in our lives and out of our relationships. I know that the past 2 years have transformed me. And I want you to just take a moment and think of one concrete way that the past 2 years have transformed you as well. Before COVID shut life down, I was more than overprogrammed. I was a Girl Scout troop leader, a rabbi here at the temple, a single mom during the week. And I ran from dropping the kids off at school to coming to work, to doing after-school activities, to coming back to work, to putting the kids to bed. I was also, by the way, working on a doctorate. It was insane. When everything shut down, I slept 12 hours a night for weeks. I had no idea how exhausted I was until everything ground to a halt. Now, I'm much more conscious about the ways I program my life. I am no longer a Girl Scout troop leader, though I have been the troop cookie manager, and it's been a bigger commitment than I thought. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. I told the kids that they can only do one after-school activity. That's it. We can't do 4 anymore. And you all know that I found a new job with 9 to 5 hours, which is mind-boggling to me. Rest has become a priority, and now I even nap, something I never did before. And frankly, I'm grateful for this transformation because it means that I am living a life that is more peaceful and centered. So what about you all? What change or transformation occurred for you over the past 2 years? think that's okay, Diane. Someone else? Grace.
I was a pandemic bride, married during the pandemic.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. And I also stopped drinking. And
Wow.
alcohol out of my life.
Wow.
Like the opposite of so many people.
I know. Wow.
I just realized it didn't serve me anymore. I didn't need it in my life, and I feel wonderful. It's been great for my skin. And it's something that I realized that, I felt was necessary in social events and social interactions and activities. But I realized it's not, and I love going to bed and waking up early, and it feels really great. I feel like interpersonal relationships have all improved as a result. So it's been pretty transformative. I like it a lot.
Wow. That's really powerful. That's beautiful. Hava.
I've been spending a lot more time alone,
Yeah.
and I've really grown to treasure putting down the phone, not knowing that I'm not needed, even if people tell me they need me.
Uh-huh.
And saying, what, I can't do it all. I've stepped away from, I've learned the word no. And I stepped away from, if it doesn't serve me,
Yeah.
taking a step back much more frequently, and before I have to hit exhaustion.
Yes. I relate.
And I've had a boss that has been very, very supportive.
Yes. Anybody else?
Another thing, it was actually the COVID that affected me. It was all the politics.
Yeah.
All that's been going on. And although I was obviously very conscious of the COVID and didn't want to get it, or pass it on, I feel as if the whole couple of years has been so, there's been all this background noise,
Yeah.
and now there's the war on Ukraine.
Yes.
Although there's always war somewhere,
That's also true. Yeah.
but it's just as if there's been a great big background noise going on the whole time, and COVID was just part of it.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Anybody else? So I don't want to diminish the challenges of the past 2 years, which I know were really hard for our country, our community, our families. And honestly, I would gladly trade my appreciation for rest if it would bring back those millions of lives that were lost. Maybe you would trade giving up alcohol, although I hope not, that's fabulous, yeah. Or your ability to say no, or your ability to let things go if it would change everything. But that's not how life is it? So how do we acknowledge what we lost while also holding on to these gifts, possible gifts of transformation? Maybe one way we can do it is to go home tonight and write down that thing, that element of transformation that you've gained. And maybe you could put it up on your doorpost with your mezuzah so that you're reminded of it when you go out and when you come in, when you lie down and when you rise up. And we can remind ourselves that even though or even when life is painful, which it often is, it also can contain something meaningful. Maybe that's how we start to return and reemerge and come back into camp, come back into being together, which is something, after all, we have to do over and over and over again, coming back together in this new world that we can build together. Let's continue now with Aleinu on pages 282, 284, and 287. And Chava, I wonder if you could help Mary and Grace open the ark doors for us. As they come forward, I'd like to invite everyone to please rise. Come on up, y'all.
Meshabeach ladon hakol. Latet gedula liotzer breshit. Shelo asanu kigoye aratzot. Velo samanu kimishbechot arama. Shelo sam chelkenu kahem. Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim. Shachavim umodim. Lifnei melech malchei amlachim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shamayim v'yoser haaretz. Umosha b'karo b'shamayim imah. U'shchinatu zo b'govhei meromim. Hu Eloheinu Heinot. Malkeinu efes ulato. Kakatu Beratayom Hashivota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Imah V'al haaretz Mitachat Einod Ne'emar ve'ayadonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayomahu Yeh-Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Page 290. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and everyone is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoe'er I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. And so we remember all of those who came before us and who touched our lives. At their yahrzeit, their anniversary of passing, we remember Anna Berman, mother of Sue Abramson, Alan Cookson, husband of Elizabeth Cookson, Albert Davis, husband of Ruth Davis, Sherry Grabois, wife of Ron Grabois, Mario Huerto, father of Jessica Hernandez, Jules Mitchell and Elvira Petrushka Sechel, loved ones of Betty Sechel, Gerald Siegel, father of Ellen Heller, Henny Simon, grandmother of Lee Markowitz, Raymond Tumas, father of Cynthia Gidry, Jack Weiss, father of Lenore Adler, grandfather of Diane Adler. And we also remember hold all of these people in our hearts as we turn to page 294 and rise as one community for Mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yit'aleh V'yithalal Shemei D'Kudsha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tishbechata V'nechemata Damiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh Shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. May God, who is our source of peace, send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who remember. Together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Do you mind if I do the announcements? Because I don't feel like they're complete. So I wanted to point out to everybody this list that's on your handout of upcoming events. There's an awful lot happening at Temple in the next 2 months, and I want to make sure that y'all are aware of them. I want to let everyone know that next Friday at 6 p.m. we'll be having a Thank God It's Shabbat service. We will be serving pizza. Please call Cindy to RSVP. And the following Saturday, we will have Bible and Bagels at 9:30. I know, it's very exciting. That Sunday, Sisterhood. Oh, yes, and we have a testy overnight on the 8th, although I don't think anyone here is eligible, but yeah, I'm excited too.
I
Yes.
needed the reminder.
Yes. And on Sunday the 10th at 9 a.m., Sisterhood is hosting Mom's Morning Out. Let the games begin. They will be having some food and nosh and talking and lots of different games for people to play. You don't need to be a mom to come, so it'll be a lot of fun. Friday, April 15th is the beginning of Passover. We will not have services. But on Saturday, the 16th at 6 p.m., we will be having second night Seder. You must RSVP by April 6th because we are having it catered. So we need to make sure that you RSVP in advance because we cannot accommodate last-minute guests. On Friday, April 22nd, we will be observing Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, at services that night, and the Ukrainian Consul General will be speaking at the temple. So I hope that So I hope that you all will make that a priority. April 24th, starting at 12, is the Food Truck Festival organized by Temple Sinai's Brotherhood. And last but not least, save the date for May 7th, Saturday, May 7th at 6 p.m. when they are having a Happy Trails Gala in honor of me. So, yes, Diane. Cool. That's awesome. Beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah. So let's take a minute and bless one another. You can find our blessings on page 299. I would say let's bless our sons, but I don't know where our son is. Do you know where he is?
He was like right outside the door.
All right. Well, let's bless all of our children, whether they're near or far. Our daughters, we have a daughter who's near, so let's start by blessing our daughters. Yisimech Elohim Kasar Rivka Rachel Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Becca, Rachel, and Leah. And we bless our sons. Yisimcha Elohim Ephraim v'Manasseh. May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. And we gather all those we love in blessings, reaching hands across, backwards, forwards. Yes, lovely, lovely. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless and protect us all. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine on us and be gracious and kind to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's presence fill us with healing, with a sense of renewal and return, and above all, with peace. And we all say,
Amen.
Amen. Our closing song, the words to our closing song can be found at the bottom of your handouts. Oseh Shalom. Always praying for peace.
Oseh Shalom. Bimromav, Ose Shalom, Bimromav, Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom, Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom, Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom, Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Aleinu.
1, 2, 3, 4.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Aleinu.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.